originally I chose 6 stories, all from basically going out, like drinking. But I've decided to leave one story out, and that's because it didn't really fit the theme. It was a story about how I've met a nationally known criminal at a birthday party. Well, he wasn't at the time the criminal, he later on became one. And I don't know, like it was quite long. It had a lot of personal info, so I thought that maybe I would leave it to my Patreon. At first I wanted to wait until the trial with him finishes and I will note the sentencing, but we'll see. Maybe I'll tell it on my channel one day. Maybe on my Patreon only. We'll see. Okay, so I have a name for each story, so there will be 5 stories. They are ordered from the newest to the oldest. The newest story is from 2019 though, so it's been a while, I guess. Yeah, let's get right to it. By the way, like, these stories are very silly and light-hearted and maybe a little bit funny, so if you're in the mood for that, please keep on watching. Okay, so the title of the first story is The Wolf. Okay, The Wolf. And so many of my friends know this story already, so now I will tell you too. So this was back when I was in Korea in 2019, and I was there for like an exchange program basically. And one day we decided to go out with my friends to like a club, I think. It was a club, it wasn't a bar. And we didn't really know what to expect. I tried fixing the lighting a little bit, I don't know if that helped. Anyways, so we didn't really know what to expect. And I remember I wasn't really drinking a lot either, because like, I don't know, like when you're in an unknown situation, it's not good to drink a lot. That's what I think. But anyways, so we just wanted to see like how clubs in Korea look like, right? And it really depends on what part of city you go to. So we went to Hongdae, which is like students area, a lot of young people, a lot of people in general, to be fair. And we went to this club. I don't remember the name of the club, but I do remember the location of it. And somebody named, I kid you not, Wolfie, just with a bunch of numbers, followed me. And it seemed like very obviously like a fake account, because he didn't follow anybody except me. Like, he followed one person and he didn't have any posts and stuff, so I don't know. I'm not judging people who are not, posting on social media, because I don't either, but at least, like, I follow my friends, and stuff. And I think, like, I even asked him, why is your username like Wolfie? And he just responded with, because I'm a wolf. And well, anyways, later on, later on that day, because we didn't talk after that day, he said, oh, actually, like, I'm way younger than you, and I'm in school, and basically I lied about everything I told you last night. And I was like, yeah, well, bye. And I think I followed him for like a couple of hours, and then I saw he unfollowed me too, so I unfollowed him as well. And yeah, that's how our conversation ended. So there you go. Anyways, let's move on to the second story, and I have a name for this story as well. I call this story The Living Room Club. So all of the rest of the stories happened in the Czech Republic, by the way. Just so you would know, there are no sororities or fraternities in the Czech Republic, okay? So everybody kind of plans their own parties, and in most cases you just go out clubbing, specifically on a Wednesday night. So this was called like a Students' Wednesday, which basically meant that there was a happy hour, well, I guess a happy day, happy night on Wednesday, and so a lot of students would go out to clubs. Now, why Wednesday? It was because a lot of people just left the city like on Friday, and they would go home, and so the clubs, like, it wouldn't be profitable for the clubs to have a happy hour on Friday, and this was super annoying because, like, I always had classes early in the morning on Thursday, and some of my classes even required an attendance as a part of the grade. Like, you had to have I think like 80-90% of attendance to even pass. So I just didn't want to risk most of the time being sick or being hungover, and so I ended up just not going to a lot of clubs in general in uni, because yeah, everybody wanted to go out on Wednesday. I don't know, I had responsibilities, so it wasn't great, I think. Anyways, so we've decided to go to a, like, what was it? Like this really known club in my town. And I actually remember the name of the club because it was called No Limit, which is funny, and you'll soon know why. And I went with Caitlin. So if you remember, if you watched my Fake Friend story time, I talked about Caitlin. She was like my best friend throughout uni. She was my rock. Like, we did everything together basically. And we also went with this other group. So again, if you watched the previous story time, I was talking about how uni had a lot of different like cliques, the same way they are like groups in like American movies, about high school, like Mean Girls, those like kinds of, cliques. So this was a group of the pretty girls, okay? And they're also very good students. The majority of them So Kylie was like the it girl. She was tall, blonde, and she went out every Wednesday to go clubbing, and she was always meeting a lot of guys, and she called them her husbands. Okay, so that was like her vocabulary. This becomes important later on. Well, not that much, but and so me and Caitlin, we've met the other girls, and we went into this club, and I kid you not, it was literally the size of a living room. It was so small. Okay, a bigger living room, let's say. The dance floor was tiny because it was like 2 meters long, like 3 meters wide. Like it was so tiny, and again it was super overcrowded. There was a lot of smoke, and I don't smoke, so it was kind of irritating my nose a lot. It was so sweaty. I was just like, wait a minute, like this is the famous club that everyone is talking about, like seriously, because it was so tiny. And we ended up just dancing a little bit with Caitlin. I remember one of Kylie's husbands came up to us, and he started like flirting, and I was like, oh no, like stay away, Satan. And because I didn't want to mess up the new friendship with Kylie, right? And by the way, if you watched the Fake Friends story time, this was after I stopped talking with the previous group. Okay, so just so you would know. And yeah, I'll end up dancing. Oh, and I remember specifically, like, we went to a bar to get some drinks, and there was Kendall talking with a very old, weird guy. So he must have been like 35, 40, which of course that's not old, but I mean, like, what are you doing in like a club full of 19-year-olds? Not that there's like don't get me wrong, like of course like older people can go clubbing, right? But it was kind of weird that like, because usually like if you wanted to go out, you wouldn't go on a weekday, right? Because you had work. Oh my god, the wind. Yeah, because, you know, adults had work, so they wouldn't go out on Wednesdays, right? So it was kind of weird to go for like really, you know, older adults on Wednesday, if you know what I mean. I hope I don't sound like too judgmental, but still, I don't know. So I was 19 at the time, okay, and I looked really young, for sure, because I was a late bloomer, and like, when I was 19, I looked about 17, 16, and Kendall also looked really, really young. Like, she looked like she was 15, 14, and so this, I feel like I should come up with a fake name for the dude as well. I'm gonna call him Hugh, okay? So, Hugh was talking to Kendall, and basically he was trying to get her to his apartment that was just like right across the street, and he was just like, oh, you know, I'm the adult here, I have my own apartment, you should all go to my apartment and we can do stuff, and like, and he was like, he was so confident, and I was just like, dude, come on. I mean, listen, yes, I am judgmental of older guys trying to date 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Now that I'm older, now that I'm 25, I think it's super creepy. I said what I said. But yeah, he was just like, oh, you should go to my apartment. And Caitlin had a boyfriend at the time. Kendall didn't. I didn't either at the time. disappeared for like an hour. And it was so funny because after the hour she was just like, oh my god, like I was looking everywhere for you, where have you been? And we were just like, you're right here. And it was such a tiny club that you could literally see everybody. I was just like, who are you kidding? Like, anyways, I don't even know where I was going with this story, but I ended up not going to this club anymore because, yeah, I don't like when it gets overcrowded. Anyways, let's move on from this story. So, the next story I've titled The Cocktail Bucket. Okay. And, this was when I was also 19. It was probably, it was in the same year, I think. And this happened when I was still talking to the fake friends group from my previous story time. It was after the argument. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm referencing it so much. I just feel like I need to put things into perspective. I don't know. So we went out with my friends, and again, I feel like I need fake names. So I'm gonna call my friend, okay, my guy friend Jamie. He will be Jamie. And Hannah. Okay, so Jamie and Hannah. And these were my very good friends. Like, I knew Jamie from kindergarten, basically. And I knew Hannah from middle school, so like we went all the way back, and we've decided to go to a concert together. I think Jamie went because we had an extra ticket because my other friend like couldn't go, I think, so that's why Jamie tagged along. But he ended up like not really liking the concert, which is okay. Like, he was just like there, you know. He didn't want to refuse the ticket, I guess. And it was so funny because I remember like me and Hannah, we were in the front row, and he was just like in the back, kind of being like this, you know, like he had his arms around his body, and he was super like mad. It was funny. And then after that, we went to some bars or clubs. I think it was a bar. The first one for sure, it was a bar, but it had a dancing floor as well, but a really small one. And I got so drunk that night. And here's the thing, I never in my life got drunk to the point where I would forget stuff, or you know, where I would black out. Like, that's just, I don't know, that idea just makes me cringe like so much, because yeah, I would hate to like lose control. However, my final stage of being drunk is basically turning into Luna Lovegood on steroids. Okay, so I get very like, I'm kind of like in my own head. I think about the meaning of life, and about other philosophical stuff. I'm like there, I talk to others, but I kind of interpret the events differently, and you soon will know why. And yeah, I haven't been that drunk ever since then, actually, so yeah, but I was in a great mood. I remember I was in a great mood because it was after the argument with the fake friends, and I just wanted to, you know, not really get drunk, but I just wanted to like spend time with friends who actually liked me, you know. So I got a bit carried away. So after some time, we ended up going to a different bar, and at that point I was really drunk. And I remember my friends Hannah and Jamie was like not fully there, okay? And we went to the second bar, and it was really late at that point. Like, it was like 3 a.m, 3:30 maybe. Another thing is like, I get almost like childlike, because I get excited about every single thing around me. And we were sitting at this table, and on the table next to us there were people who were probably older. I don't exactly remember like all of them, but they had this huge bucket of cocktail. So a cocktail bucket, that's why I named the story after that. And I was like, oh my god, like look at that bucket. And my friends were just like, yes, Kayla, we see it. But I was like, no, look at it. Like, I was a little annoying, you know, kind of like a child, you know, like a how would I say, not like in a weird way, but yeah, kind of like a child that's just excited from regular stuff. And they also had neon straws. I was just like, oh my god, look at those neon straws. And there were only 3 of us, so there was one empty seat. And I remember the woman from that group came to our table, and she sat down, and here's my interpretation of events. So she seemed really interested in Jamie, and she was convincing Jamie to go to her apartment. Okay. And Jamie was just not interested, and he was shaking his head. He was just like, no, like, I'm not going, I'm going to stay here. And I remember she was talking to Hannah a little bit too, but not really to me, because like, yeah, I was in my own head basically. So that's my interpretation of events. The next day my friends told me that it was like completely opposite, and I still remember it like what I just told you, but I digress. So apparently the woman was talking for her guy friend, who again was like 35, 40. I don't know, I feel like like when I was 19, I kind of attracted like a certain type of older men, you know, just like a little suspicious. I remember he was bald, and he was very creepy. Like, he had creepy eyes, okay? That's all I remember. So, apparently, she was talking for him, and she was trying to get me and Hannah to go to his apartment to do something that I think I can't say because I'll get demonetized. I don't remember it like this, like at all. And I remember the next day I was talking to Jamie, and I was just like, oh, why were you not interested in the woman? And he was just like, what are you even talking about? And he told me what actually happened, and I was like, what? You know, and it was pretty scary because, like, obviously, like, I wouldn't go with him, like, anywhere, but it was scary because, yeah, I remembered something completely else, and I never got drunk like that after that ever again, basically. And yeah, like, he was shaking his head because he was just like, no, like, me, like Kayla or like Hannah, like, they will not go with him. So this is also like creepy, like, why is the woman talking to Jamie anyway, and why is she talking for that creepy guy? Like, what's up with that? Like, what kind of weird stuff was just happening? I don't even know. Anyways, so yeah, that was pretty scary to me. So yeah, I ended up not like getting drunk like that ever again, because like, yeah, I like to be present in situations like that fully, you know. Okay, second to last story this small concert in a club basically, and they had these balloon decorations hanged on like the wall, and they also had this huge circle of balloons. Like it was literally like, it's pretty big. I think I'll show you a photo again, because I already have it saved from the last time I filmed. And we were like, I was a little drunk but not too much, and I remember I was just like, this would be so cool if we would have this. And I was still talking to the fake friends, by the way, and I think I texted one of them and I was just like, hey, don't you think this would be cool to bring to like a basketball event? And I don't remember which one I texted out of the two. I don't know if it was James or Charles. I don't know. I don't remember at all. But and he was like, yeah, sure, like bring it. And I was like, okay, I'll bring it. And I think it was Charles, now that I think about it. I think so. And so we did, and we brought, because the club didn't mind, because they would throw it out anyway the next day after the concert. And they were like, sure, like you can have it if you want it. I was like, yes. So we had this huge circle of balloons. We couldn't even fit it through the door, and we had to travel all across the city on public transport with it. And it was already late, and it attracted a lot of, you know, weird people as well. Obviously people were staring, but yeah, it also like attracted to like, you know, some like way too drunk people to talk to us on the public transport, you know. And it was so funny though. Like I still remember the next day when we woke up, and by the way, I slept in Caitlin's dorm. I shouldn't have, because well, it was forbidden for non-residents to sleep in a dorm like that, but we did it anyway, and I was just kind of pretending like I belong into the dorm, because otherwise I would have to pay for like a bed, and I think I just had like a blanket on the ground or something. And we were like, we can't believe like we actually took it, and we brought it to the basketball game, and it was so much fun. Like people had fun. It was huge, like literally huge. And I remember like all the players took a picture with it. It was a school game. It wasn't like an actual or like a real match. It was like a school game, like a uni tournament basically. And yeah, I still like, for some reason it's still one of my most precious memories. I don't know why, because yeah, I think I was 18 at the time. 18, yeah. And I should say that the legal age for drinking here is 18 in the Czech Republic, so like it was legal, okay. So yeah, I still, for some reason I still remember it like it was yesterday. And yeah, actually now I don't really talk to Caitlin anymore because we grew apart after uni, because our lives went into two completely different directions. But still, like, this is actually probably one of my most precious memories with her, the huge circle of balloons. Okay, so the last story is the oldest one, and it's titled The Whiskies and the Zebra. So this is a story again with Hannah and Jamie, and we just turned 18, I think, so we were of a legal drinking age, and we went to a concert, to a bar. It was like, yeah, it was a bar. You could say that it was more of a pub, actually. Yeah, it was a pub. And again, we had so much fun. And I remember we drank a lot of whiskey, and that's because we felt like we were so grown up, and you know, we wanted to feel classy, and we were like, yeah, we responsibly. So he had like a bottle of vodka or something, and he brought out, and we all went to the town's square, and we started playing Truth or Dare. And wait, was it? No, it wasn't a Truth or Dare. It was something else. It was like Never Have I Ever. Never Have I Ever. Okay, yeah. And then if you have done it, then you have to drink. And I remember I was like pretty drunk, so I decided that I will not drink this super strong vodka anymore. So I just pretended that I'm drinking. But Hannah was drinking a lot, and oh my god, she suddenly hit her head on the bench like really loudly. She fell down. She was lying on the ground with my jacket, which was great. And then she was sick, and I've never seen someone being sick that way. And I kept making fun of her for years after that, because it was literally like in the movies, because she was just like like that, like, because her vomit just defied gravity. I was calling her Spout, like the spout on a castle, because like when you have spouts on castles, like they kind of, you know, the water pours like that way to get it away from the walls of the castle, right? So I called her like jokingly Spout, but only when we like went out and she got drunk. Then I called her, you know, I was just like, oh, are you going to be a spout again? And she hated it. I didn't call her that all the time, of course. And at that point, like, she couldn't walk anymore, so me and Jeannie, we took her and we kind of dragged her to my house where she was supposed to sleep. Yeah, we took like her, each of us took her one arm, and we just dragged her, and she couldn't even walk. I remember, like, it was so bad because she was just dragging her feet across the pavement. It was, yeah, and when we arrived, she had like a PJs with a zebra on it, and she took the PJs and she went into the bathroom. She didn't even say anything, and then I heard really, really loud noises coming from the bathroom, just like bang, pow, boom, like stuff were falling down. She was there for like 40 minutes. She didn't even take a shower, I think, but she was there for 40 minutes. She left my bathroom, and she stared like directly into my eyes, and she was just like, I'm a zebra, because she had a zebra on her PJs. Actually, I don't even remember if it was a zebra or a giraffe. It would be funnier if it was a giraffe and she would say that she's a zebra. I think it was a zebra. I'm not sure. And I was just like, yeah, sure. But she was just like, no, you don't understand. I'm a zebra. I was like, yes, I know. You already said that. She was like, no, but like, you don't understand. I am a zebra. Just... I went into the bathroom. Of course, all of my products were on the ground. Like, she just left them there. And there was a gum like right in the middle of the sink for some reason, because she thought it was the trash can. God. So I cleaned up the mess. At that point, like, I sobered up completely, and she didn't remember any of it. So she, like, from the time she hit her hand on the bench to the time when she claimed that she was a zebra, she didn't remember any of it. And I told her the next morning, and she couldn't believe it, because she didn't even remember how she like got her PJs on and anything. And yeah, like, I still remember. And I remember before she fell asleep, she again was just like, I'm a zebra, like, very seriously. I was just like, yes, I know. Alright, so that will be it for today's video. I hope you're sleeping already. If not, that's okay too. You can go to sleep now. Thank you much for watching. I hope you liked these silly, funny stories, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright,